Welcome to Align Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda and I am going to be guiding you through your practice today. Today our scripture verse is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and this is a chapter that is often read at weddings, at anniversaries. It is a chapter about love. It is a chapter that defines love, specifically verses 7 and 8. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. My husband and I just celebrated our 36th wedding anniversary. And I've been thinking about this passage a lot. This was read at our wedding. And what has really just struck me this week is endures. 36 years of marriage, a couple of children who are grown now. We've endured a lot together. And our love is stronger than it ever has been. And enduring love is a love that frees us to be vulnerable. It's a love that frees us to trust. It's a love that frees us to be ourselves. And this is the love that God offers us and that we are called to offer others. It is patient. It is kind. It endures. Today, as we practice today, I would invite you to rest and restore in that love. Just simply let yourself be, no expectations. Poses don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to accomplish anything. Just simply breathe your way through your practice. Find a practice that works for you. Modify it. Make it your own. If you have a prop, bring it underneath your hips. Allow your hips to come down to the mat. And to just settle into the sitting bones, maybe move the flesh of the legs away. If you would like to practice with music, we have a Spotify playlist on the notes below the video here. So just go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. And you can start that playlist in just a little bit. Not quite yet. Let's start our practice in silence today. And take one hand over your heart, one hand over your abdomen. And as you breathe in and breathe out, breathe fully, three-dimensionally, and feel the hands move with breath. Inhaling into the lungs first, then the rib cage and the diaphragm muscle. Exhaling up the body. So back and forth here, breathing in, breathing out. A few more breaths. Continue breathing. Let the hands come down to the legs. Can you feel the dimension of the breath even when the hands are not on the body? Begin to check in physically, just acknowledging where your body is as you begin your practice today. What feels really good, what feels stuck, what feels tight, where might you need to make modifications, where might you want to make modifications. Check in energetically and mentally. Are you focused? Are you distracted? Are you high energy? Do you feel a little lethargic today? Just acknowledging it all, accepting it as it is, but also asking yourself the question, where do I want to be at the end of my practice today? And how can I adapt my practice to get me there? Invite the Holy Spirit to guide your practice. today specifically, invite the Holy Spirit to remind you of all of the ways that God shows His love for you. Of all of the ways that His love has endured over the years. Of all of the times He has been patient and kind. Allow that love to pour through you and to fill you up as you practice today. If you'd like to practice with music, you can start that playlist now. Take a deep breath in. Begin to connect movement with breath. Arms rising high as the palms come together. Exhaling, hands come down. So back and forth here, arms rising and falling. Find your pace and just settle into it. One more time like this, lifting and lowering. And the next inhale as the arms rise, gaze comes up. As the hands come down, bow your head. Back and forth here. And 2 more times here. Your pace, your breath, your practice. As the hands come down, gently drop your chin and just bring your right ear to your right shoulder, and then chin forward, left ear to left shoulder. And back and forth here. How does the neck feel today? The upper back. Next time you come to the right, just stay there. Begin to draw a figure 8 with your nose and explore all the sensations in the neck. And as you're ready, just settle into that release wherever the stretch is best for you. And maybe this is far enough and you just stay here. But if you'd like a little bit more, the right hand can come up just above the ear, just very, very gently. Gently draw the head a little bit further down. Maybe the left fingertips walk out away from the body on the mat. Can you find that deep breath that still reaches all the way from the top of the body down to the pelvic floor and back up again? As you're ready, let the arm come down and bring the chin forward. And stay here, and even here, maybe just moving the head a little bit back and forth. And rather than letting the head just hang forward, can you pull the shoulders down towards the hips so that there's a little bit of support there at the base of the neck, and you feel the stretch all the way into the upper back. Go ahead and take the left ear to the left shoulder. Again, that figure 8 with the nose. What's going on this side? Just identify that tight place. Settle into that stretch. Stay there for a breath or 2. Check in. Is this enough? If you want a little bit more, again, left arm, hand comes up just above that ear, guides the head a little bit further over. Maybe next level, that right hand walks out away from the body. As you're ready, release. The arm comes down, the chin comes forward. One more breath here. Arms rise up and overhead. Come into cactus arms. Just open up across the chest. Inhale up, hands to heart, exhale. Bring the arms all the way forward. Palms are still together. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, back bend. Inhale up, hands to heart. Hands come all the way forward. One more time. Cactus arms into that back bend. Inhale up, hands come to heart. Exhale and release. Come off the block. Go ahead, bring your props to the front edge of your mat. Bring your hands out wide, your knees are hip-width apart. Come into table pose. If you look behind your legs, you cannot see your feet. They are hiding behind your knees there, directly back. Bring the elbows facing inward, the shoulders back, engaging through the abdominals. Find neutral position of the spine. Top of the head reaches towards the front edge of the mat. Warming up the muscles of the back. Exhale into cat. Round the back up, let the head drop. Inhale, collarbone comes through the arms. Heart opens up, gaze comes forward, cow pose. Back and forth here, cat to cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Two more times on your own. Work with your breath. Your next inhale, meet me back at table, settle there. As you exhale, draw back to the right with your hips. So you're actually going to come slightly over to the side for this child's pose. Inhale up to center, and exhale to the other side. Back and forth here. One more each. Meet me back at center. Bring your right hand to the front of the mat, the left elbow directly back towards the knee. Find as much length as you can as you reach that arm forward. Look underneath the right arm, the extended arm, and maybe draw the hips towards center if they're starting to drift out to that right side. Can you find length up and down the side of the body? Connecting wrist to shoulder, shoulder to hip, hip towards the heel. Inhale up, go the other direction. Left arm forward, right elbow back, looking underneath that left arm. Again, just noticing where did that hip go. If it's starting to swing left, maybe bringing it towards the center. Where is this stretch for you? Wherever the stretch is deepest, can you direct breath into that place? Create a little bit of space there. Inhale and release, hands underneath the shoulders. Exhale back into child's pose, right at center, and stay there for 3 breaths. Let the body grow heavy. Maybe massage the forehead out. Just breathe in, breathe out. For the next inhale, come up into table. And come forward into kneeling plank. Find a strong plank here. So those abdominals are in, shoulders are back and down towards the hips. The eyes of the elbows still facing in towards each other, not at the front of the mat. And then as you're ready, rotate the arms just a bit. Let the upper arm stay close to the body as you come to the mat. Arms wide, palms out, Sphinx pose. Exhale down, come in and out of this. 2 more times here. Come up into Sphinx, just find your back bend, breathe in and out of it. Exhale down, hands glide to the rib cage, elbows pressing in, come up through table and from table to child. Twice more through this. Breathe in as you come into that kneeling plank. Exhale to the mat. Find the pace that matches your breath. Inhale into Sphinx. Exhale back into child. One more time. Kneeling plank to the mat. Sphinx to child. Come up into table and curling the toes underneath. Meet me in downward facing dog. Let the knees come up into the rib cage. Shake your head out no and yes. Let the fingertips reach forward as the hip creases reach up and back. Begin to pedal through your feet. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, heels come down towards the mat. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, heels come down. One more time. Just notice where downward facing dog begins today. No expectations, it's just wherever the body takes you. Where are you tight? In the ankles or the calves, hamstrings, lower back, shoulder girdle. Just noticing. And then as you draw the belly in, just gently walk yourself forwards to the front edge of the mat. Feet are going to come in between your hands. Drop your hips and let your head come down in a very, very modified forward fold. Begin to lift and lower the hips. Again, just exploring what's going on in the hamstrings today. Let the hips rise up just a bit, engaging through the abdominals. Let the heads come down. Shake it out, no and yes. And notice where your forward fold starts today. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. Inhale, come all the way up. Mountain pose. Stay in mountain. Find your mountain. So feet are hip width apart. So to find that, just bring your heel to the instep. Pivot on that big toe. Feet are parallel. Go ahead and hold on to that left wrist. Come up and over to the side. Can you do this without swinging the hips out to the side? So those hips are solid. Imagine your feet rooted into that mat. Inhale up, exhale, hands come down to the small of the back, open up across the chest. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, come over the other direction. Are you looking up or down? Just be intentional about it. Doesn't matter which you choose. And release. Hands come to the small of the back. Open up across the chest. Deep breath in, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Again, just noticing forward fold. Where does this take you? Leave your right foot in place. Take your left leg back into a lunge. If you have props and you'd like to use them, you can bring a prop to either side of the front foot. Let that back knee just come down and up. Explore the sensations in the psoas muscle of the hip. Lifting and lowering, extending. And then as you're ready, let's go ahead and let that back knee drop down, top of the foot to the mat. Sink that hip just a tiny bit, that front knee stays right over the ankle. Sweep the arms forward and up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands come back to either side of that front foot. Curl the toes underneath, raise that back leg. Bring the front foot to the back, meet me in plank. From plank, find your way back down to the mat. Find your back bend. Sphinx, maybe low cobra. Go ahead and come through table to downward facing dog. As the gaze comes forward, bring the feet forward as well. Drop the hips, rise up into chair pose. So first chair pose of the day, let's find this as well. So take your two fingers to your hips, just gently tuck those glutes just a bit. So this isn't really a tucking of the hips, just feel the glutes release as you press down on them. In that, maybe find a little more length in the spine, collarbone reaches up just a bit, arms extended just in front of those ears. Rise high, mountain pose. Exhale, cactus arms into your back bend. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins. Rise up halfway. Nice long back. Exhale down. Leave the left foot forward. Take the right leg back. Bring the knee down and up. Back and forth here. So a few more times, again just exploring this stretch now in that right psoas muscle. As you're ready, just let that knee come down to the mat, top of the foot to the mat, sweep the arms forward and up, cactus arms into the back bend, arms rise, hands come down, curl the back toes under, front foot comes to the back, meet me in plank. So as you make your way down to the mat, maybe exploring grasshopper now. So the hips a little bit above the heels, above the knees as you start, and you're just going to swoop the chest through, keep the shoulders above the elbows. Maybe find a low cobra, and meet me back in downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, stay here. Bring your right heels towards the floor. Take your big toe and your next toe of the left foot gently just connect it around the Achilles there. Little tiny bit of pressure as you stretch through the calf muscle. Just bringing that heel a little closer to the mat. Inhale, rise high, both feet to the mat. Exhale, both heels down. Left heel drops towards the mat. Right toes connect at that left ankle, gently drawing the heel just a little further. Again, know your edge. No struggle, no shaking, no pulling. Just a little tension. Inhale, rise high. Exhale, both heels to mat. Stay here in downward dog for 3 breaths. How is your downward dog shifting? belly in, gaze comes forward, feet come up in between the hands, drop your hips, meet me in chair, stay in chair pose. Again, can you find it this time without the physical adjustments? So you're doing the same thing, you're going to relax those glutes a little, draw the rib cage in, rise high up into mountain. This time, go ahead and interlace the fingers. Take the hands behind your head. Take your left shoulder back behind you, right arm reaches forward, left elbow reaches up, look up to the sky as the other elbow drops. And release, come back to center, let the hands come down. Cup the hands in front of you, turn the backs of the hands together. Hands come into prayer, come all the way up. Interlacing the fingers awkwardly, hands come behind the head. Turn the other direction, right elbow back, right elbow rises. Left elbow behind the body. Inhale back up, arms come down. Again, just cup the hands, backs of the hands together for a wrist release. Palms in prayer, come all the way up. Cactus arms, find your back bend. Inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Drop the hips once, lift them again. Just notice where your forward fold is now. Shake your head out, no and yes. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other. Find your plank. From plank, go ahead and bring your right knee to the center of the mat, right hand to the center of the mat. You're going to kickstand that right foot out behind you. Left foot will be parallel to the back edge of the mat. Sweep that left arm up to the sky. Maybe this is enough for you. This is where you stay. Notice that as you engage the abdominals a little bit at the internal obliques here, that a little bit of the weight comes out of that wrist. So keep the weight out of that wrist. Raise that back leg for balance if you choose to go there. Maybe you'd also like that quadricep stretch. Just going to hold on to the foot. Foot presses into hand, hand presses into foot. Breathe. And release. Foot comes down, hand comes down. Meet me in plank. And come down to the mat. Come up into your back bend. Exhale to child. And meet me in downward facing dog. Drawing the gaze forward. Come forward with the feet. Find your forward fold. Drop the hips. Chair pose. Staying in chair pose, right hand to the small of the back, left arm reaches across. Meet me in twist. As you're ready, release. Hands down to the floor, rise high. Find your mountain, come out into cactus arms, back bend. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bring the hands down and meet me in chair again. So again, those hips are just drawing back and down. A little extra weight slightly towards the front of the foot. It's not a gym squat. Left hand to the small of the back, right arm reaches across. Deep breath in. Meet me in twist. Can you find your twist with breath? Lengthen through the spine, a little more space with that inhale. Slightly deeper pose with the exhale, find your edge. As you're ready, release. Hands come all the way down and up, mountain pose. Arms come out, cactus, find your back bend. Inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway, exhale down. Meet me in plank. This time the left knee comes to the center of the mat, left hand to center of the mat. Pivot the foot back behind you. That right leg is extended, parallel to the back foot is parallel to the outside edge of the mat. So again, how much weight is in this hand, and can you hold on with the muscles of the waist, of the internal obliques? Reach high. Maybe this is where you stay, a little more balance. That leg rises. Finding the back bend and the quadricep stretch. If you'd like to hold on to that foot, the foot presses into the hand into the foot. Open up. Breathe in, breathe out. Find length. As you're ready, release. Foot comes down. Hands come down. Meet me in plank. And from plank, come down to the mat, however you choose to do that. Find the back bend of your choice. If you've been practicing a little longer, maybe chaturanga, upward facing dog. Meet me in downward facing dog. Lift your heels high in the next inhale. Let the heels settle on that next exhale. Breathe in, breathe out, find the stretch. Drawing the gaze forward. Feet come all the way up to the mat. Find forward fold. So now in forward fold, reach your right arm forward, left arm across that right leg. Find a gentle twist here. Drawing the belly in, letting the head release. Again, can you feel love just washing over you today? All of the qualities of love. A love that endures. Release, switch sides. Left hand forward, right arm across. As you're ready, release. Let the hands come down to the feet again. Shake the head out, head in yes and no. And yes again. Drop the hips. Meet me in chair pose. This time in chair, finding a deeper twist if that's right for you. So you can stay in high twist. If you choose low twist, you're just going to hinge forward at the hips. You're going to bring that arm to the outside of the leg. You're going to stack your arms up, one arm over the other. Begin to find the traction as the arm reaches into the leg reaches into the arm. Simultaneously, imagine that your inner thighs are drawing together, but my feet are still hip-width apart. Release, hands come to center. Inhale all the way up, mountain pose. Exhale, arms down to your side. Arms come forward, sink hips. Meet me back in chair pose. Hands to heart, going into the twist of your choice, twisting to the other side this time. Again, catching it with the outside of the arm into the leg, finding the lines of the body, breathing fully, deeply. One more breath here. On that next exhale, come back down into forward fold. Lift the hips, just stay here in forward fold. Hands to shins, back comes up, exhale down. Leave the right leg where it is, take the left leg back into lunge. Sweep all the way up, find lunge. Go ahead and take that left hand to the shoulder, left elbow rises high. So that right knee is right over the ankle there, back leg reaching up towards the sky. Can you find a tricep stretch here and soften the rib cage? And maybe if you want a little more up and down the side of the body, you just tilt the body a little bit towards the right, towards that front leg. And release. Sweep the arms down. Inhale the hands up, come into cactus and a back bend. Arms rise. Exhale, hands come down to either side of that foot. Straighten and bend that front leg. As you're ready, extend through the front leg. Draw the belly in, let the head come down. Shake the head out, no and yes. Straightening out that front leg, just let the head hang over it. Find as much length as you can in the spine. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back into lunge. Hands to either side of the foot. Bring the foot to the back. Find plank. And from plank, find your way down through the flow, whatever flow you choose. Meeting me back in downward facing dog. Draw the gaze forward. Bring the feet forward in between the hands. Hands to shins, rise up, back is flat. Exhale down, inhale, rise all the way up, mountain pose. Exhale, hands out, cactus. Inhale, palms together, exhale, forward fold. Leave the left leg there, bring the right leg behind you. Sweep up into lunge. Holding on to lunge, let that left elbow, or the right elbow rise, left arm, hand just kind of catches right below the joint there. And so as that right arm rises, find the stretch in the tricep. Maybe the front shin reaches towards the front of the mat just a bit. And then just lean away from that leg. Breathe in, breathe out. And release. Exhale, hands come down to either side of the foot. Again, use the props if that works for you. Hands, the hands are just behind the big toe and the little toe there. Straighten and bend that front leg. As you're ready, just extend through the leg, let the head come down, shake it out, no and yes. Breathe in, breathe out. And that next inhale, just let the knee come over the ankle. Moving the props out of the way. Front leg goes to meet the back. Find your plank. From plank, come down to the mat. Find your back bend of choice. Curling the toes under. Meet me in downward facing dog. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, heels come down. One more time. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, they come down. And find the length from fingers to shoulders and shoulders to hips and hips to heels. Breathe. And that next inhale, draw the feet in between the hands, come forward into forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up, exhale down. Inhale, come all the way up, mountain pose. Exhale, hands down to your side. Rotate through wrists and ankles, shake everything out. Deep breath in, arms come up. Coming into star pose, press into your right foot. Take that left foot out, flex it, arms come out to the side. Gently tilt over to the right. Maybe the arms come into a Y. Maybe you can look up to the ceiling. That will challenge the balance a little bit more. And exhale and release, shake it out. Other side, arms rise up, stepping into the left foot. Engage the abdominals, find your focal point. That leg rises high. Arms come out a bit as you come over. And then maybe the arms come back into that Y. Maybe the gaze comes up. If you flex that elevated foot, push that heel away from the body. Find the stretch. And release, arms come down. Bring the arms all the way forward. Lift the heels, calf raises. Exhale, heels come down, hands to heart. Stay here and check in for 3 breaths. Closing your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Just notice the response of the body to your practice. Next inhale, arms rise up, cactus arms back bend. Inhale, arms rise, exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. One leg back and then the other. Find plank. Breathe into your plank. And from plank, come all the way down to the mat. Go ahead and fold your forearms parallel to the front edge of the mat. So my left arm is in front of my right. Go ahead and put your left in front of your right. Curl your toes under. Rise up into a forearm plank. Shoulders are over the elbows. So check that out. And then go ahead and twist towards your right. Bring your right arm all the way up. So a couple options here. You can put that front foot on the floor for support. Okay. You can also just lift those hips all the way up. Maybe the arm even comes over, reaches for that wall past your head, all the way up, and unwind. Okay, so from here, we're just going to go directly to the other side. Rotate over. Again, your option, maybe it feels more stable for that top foot to be on the floor. Maybe your feet are stacked. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep the shoulder towards the hips rather than the ear. And release. Forearm plank, knees to the mat, hands underneath the shoulders, come to child. Come forward into a forearm plank. So this time, my hands are in a triangle. Maybe your arms are just directly in front of your elbows. That's fine too. Knees come up, toes are curled under. Stay here, just gently tap down one knee and then the other, back and forth here a few times. As you're ready, just keep the legs extended. Take one more deep breath there. And release, knees to the mat. Meet me in child. And meet me in downward facing dog. Pedal through your feet. Explore downward dog. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, heels down to the mat. Draw the gaze forward. Bring the feet forward. Find your forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down, inhale up. Hands to heart. Interlace the fingers, push the palms out, bring the palms all the way up. Reach over to the right, over to the left. Back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down. Keep your right foot where it is. Take your left foot to warrior one. Anchor your feet, bring your arms up. Front knee right over the ankle, back foot, outside edge of the foot, pressing into the mat, hips forward. Bring the hands out to the side, coming into eagle arms. We're going to bring our right arm underneath our left. Elbows rise, shoulders drop, engaging through the rib cage. Drawing the ribs in, engaging through the abdominals, crunch forward. Inhale up. 2 more times. Again, in each pose, coming back to our theme, endurance, patience, kindness, but all of it under the umbrella of love. Stay in your back bend next time you get there. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind you. We're going to keep this front leg bent. Bring the body centered over the mat. Come down into humble warrior. Let the head come down. And then if you choose it, begin to straighten out that front leg until you find the hamstring stretch. Again, your choice. You may just want to keep that leg bent. Another breath here. Release, arms sweep all the way up. Hands to heart. Hands down to either side of the foot. Bring the back foot to the center of the mat, front foot to the back. Find your plank. From your plank, find your way down to the mat. Maybe you're kneeling in kneeling plank. Maybe you're all the way in chaturanga. Meet me in child or downward dog. Stay there for 3 breaths. Check in, notice, does one side of the body respond differently than the other now? Drawing the gaze forward, bring the feet forward, find your forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down, rise up into mountain. From mountain, take your hands down behind you, interlace your fingers, find your back bend from here. Gently bend your knees, chair pose. Hinging at the hips, bring the body over. If it works for your arms, bring them up to the ceiling. If it doesn't, just fold your arms behind you or let them come to the floor. Exhale, let the hands come down. Raise the hips up, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. Keep the left leg where it is. Take the right leg back to warrior one, angled slightly forward. Hips square to the mat, front knee over the ankle. Rise up, warrior one. Breathe into it here, breathing in, breathing out. Stay here for another breath. Arms out to the side. Left arm under the right, eagle arms. Elbows will rise as the shoulders drop. Rib cage is soft. Tuck the chin just slightly to find a little extra length in your neck. Crunch the abdominals, bow forward. And inhale up into back bend. And 2 more times here. Bow forward, come up. Just keeping those legs and hips in place. Allowing the body to move in freedom. Unwind the arms, find your back bend here. And then take the hands down behind you. Interlace the fingers awkwardly. Raise the arms up, hinge forward at the hips. Start with that knee bent, head comes down, humble warrior. Maybe it stays there, maybe today it feels good to straighten that leg a bit. Tension, but not struggle. Breathe in, breathe out. One more deep breath here. All the way down the length of that body. Exhale, let those hands come down. Back foot comes to the center of the mat. Front foot comes to the back, find plank. Breathe into plank. Drop the knees down. Child to table 3 times. Stay in child. Can you remember all the way back to your beginning of the practice today? How did child feel then? How does it feel now? Breathe fully into the back of the body. Feel the breath. Feel it move 3-dimensionally. Feel it flow. One more breath of surrender here. And press through the hands and come up. Go ahead and bring your feet forward. Drink if you need it. Prop at your side. Come down to the mat, knees bent. Today, if you have something about 4 inches, or you can just use your fists as a guide to kind of help you figure out what that is. 2 fists together. Go ahead and, this is really more like 1 fist actually, thinking 4 inches. But about 4 inches, bring that block in between your legs and press and hold onto it. So what this is going to do is it's just going to stabilize our hips a little bit. So as we work on bridge today, we're actually going to work on hip stability. So let the hands come down to the side, let the shoulder blades fall flat to the mat. Again, the chin is tucked just slightly for length in the neck, engaging through the abdominals. Can you lift the back up as a single unit? So working on hip stability. The hip points just rise to the sky. So rather than articulating through each vertebra, which is usually what we do, Can you just lift straight up from those hips, engaging through the abdominals, come back down again. Again, just inhale up. Back is a neutral position. Exhale down. This time when you come up into bridge, I would invite you to stay there. So as you press through the heels, imagine that the heels are drawing towards the shoulders. Imagine that the fingers are reaching towards the heels. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath here. And now as you come down, slowly come down one vertebra at a time. Staying here, breathe in, breathe out. Go ahead and move the block. Bring the block underneath your back. So it's going to be under the sacrum bone. There's a flat bone that connects the vertebra to the pelvis. So this is above the tailbone, below the vertebra of the spine. And find support here. So again, just elevating that lower back just a few inches. And allowing the sacrum bone to grow heavy into that block. Pressing into your feet, rise up just enough that you can remove the block and allow the back to come down to the mat. Take a breath here, just notice where the back is settled. Breathe in, breathe out. Gently bring the knees in, draw them into the rib cage and away from the body, back and forth here. As you're ready, let the feet come down to the mat. Arms long, hands down by hips, palms up, extend the legs long. Maybe windshield wiper the feet a few times. Turn the head from the top of one ear up and over to the top of the other. And as you're ready, find breath. Closing your eyes. Love holds on to hope. Love endures. Today, in these final moments of Shavasana, I invite you to spend some time in thanksgiving. Simply thanking God for the loves of your life. Thanking Him for His love singing over you. Gently bring yourself back to the mat, reconnecting with your breath, noticing the way your body has settled on the mat. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes, bringing movement back, rotating wrists and ankles, turning your head side to side. On that next breath in, bring those arms up and overhead and just stretch as long as you can, fingers to toes, and reach and reach and reach. And draw your knees in and roll over onto your side and stay there for 3 breaths. On that next breath in, come up to a sitting position. Find your sitting bones again. Check in, body, mind, and spirit, just remembering where you were when you came to the mat today and how things have shifted. Taking a deep breath in, draw arms up and overhead, and exhale, hands to heart. Eyes still closed, bowing your head, joining me in prayer. Holy God, we thank you for love. You are love. We thank you for all the ways that you have shown that to us. The gift of creation, the love of Jesus as he walked this earth with us, experienced everything that we experienced, sacrificed himself so that we could be with you. Jesus, we thank you that you are still with us every day. Friend through all that we go through. It is in the name of Jesus the Christ that we pray. Amen. Thank you for joining me today.